name is Kelsey Smith, and I was diagnosed with celiac disease in 2016.
Hi, my name is Andrea Monroe. I'm from North Carolina, and I was diagnosed with refractory celiac disease in 1996.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Hale. I have celiac disease. I was diagnosed with celiac disease at the age of 16, so I'm going on my 14th year.
Hello, my name is Elizabeth Carney. I have celiac disease and I was diagnosed about 10 years ago.
Hi, my name is Maynard. I live in St. Paul, Minnesota, and I have celiac disease. I've had celiac for about 5 years. That's how long I've known I've had celiac, I should say. And I did take part in a drug study that ended about a year ago, shortly before the pandemic lockdowns began.
And the reason I want to participate is because I want to help. I want to help patients who are like me, who feel helpless and who feel like they're not being heard. And I want to help patients whose doctors don't know a lot about the disease. And I want to give them a voice. And that's one of the reasons that I participated. I want there to be a future for future celiac patients, not to have to go through what I went through.
I chose to participate in a study because I saw a lot of emails about the same study over and over and over again. And so after, a couple dozen emails came through, I clicked and I started reading on the website. And it was so easy to understand exactly what was expected out of the participants and exactly what they were trying to achieve with the study, that it really motivated me to want to participate. But the clincher was definitely the fact that you would not have to ingest gluten. Having the transparency of the risks and the exact involvement up front, rather than having to ask questions or dig, really helped me relieve a lot of anxiety because I didn't have to worry that there would be any surprises or something I wouldn't be comfortable with.
Some of the reasons I did this study were, self-preservation, trying to improve my quality of life. But celiac disease runs heavily in my family. Both my parents have a genetic variant of the disease, and I inherited both. And then, my niece has it, my cousin has it, my grandfather passed away from complications of having it, which we didn't know until later. So when I did the study, I did it thinking I'm not only helping myself, I'm helping my family. And I have a number of friends with celiac disease. So I was really thinking I was helping more than just myself.
I did it because my 2 sons have celiac, and honestly, none of us have any difficulty with managing the gluten-free lifestyle. It comes fairly easy to us, and we're all healthy and have fully recovered. But I do get concerned about when my sons leave my house and start college and are on their own for the first time. So I'm doing it more in terms of their future.
I've had a pretty good experience with the couple of clinical trials I've participated in. I definitely would say that some involve doing a gluten challenge, and those I was a bit hesitant to participate in, just because I'm extremely careful with my diet, and the idea of intentionally eating gluten was a bit scary. But once I learned how just exposing myself for a short time may benefit celiacs, I was willing to take on the challenge.
I felt very welcome in the drug trials that I participated in. It seemed that all of the doctors knew what they were talking about. All of the associates who helped with the drug trials, who helped me with recording my information, were wonderful. And it made me feel like my disease is real, and it made me feel like I was being heard. And that is something that I don't feel a whole lot.
The only, I'd say, difficult piece of the research project for me was the scheduling. And that was because this particular study involved 5 different visits, and they were all very specially timed. Like, there had to be 4 weeks between 2 of them. And the scheduling was pretty restrictive. So that was a bit difficult to figure out.
Now, unfortunately, I have not yet participated in a clinical trial, even though I have been attempting to participate for several months now. And I think that just speaks to the larger organizational issues that may be facing these trials, and trying to gather and connect to people especially during a pandemic. I have been actively engaged and reaching out to this clinical trial to try and participate. And I think just because of coordination and being unable to get back in touch with them correctly, I have not been able to actually formally enroll. And for me, I have been proactive about it, but I can imagine that if someone had signed up for a particular study and then just never heard back, they would simply say, oh, I guess I'm not qualified and not participate. And that can absolutely dramatically reduce the number of participants we have. If you finally have someone who's committed and who wants to get engaged and who is ready to make the drive once a week, every week for 9 weeks, then having them drop off, trying to re-engage them is probably close to impossible.
One thing I would have really liked to have known was to be updated on how the clinical trial was going. I don't know if legally that's possible, but it would be a really cool addition to participating.
Participating in that study was such a positive experience that I had, and it improved my life so tremendously. One of the frustrating things is that I haven't heard about it being released out into the world yet.
So for those of you who want to participate, I would say be patient and don't be afraid to reach back out. Even if you are just speaking with a screener who is not necessarily part of the study site, the screener can get you in touch with someone who knows more information, and they can keep following up the chain until you reach someone who can reaffirm that you are enrolled and make sure that you can participate.
I also would remind anyone who's considering taking part in research that you're really in the driver's seat and that it's your choice and you're in charge. And if there's any part of the process that you're uncomfortable with or uncertain about, or you want to quit, that's your prerogative at all times. So you are in no obligation to finish a study that you begin or take part in any labs or any other procedures that you're not comfortable with. So it really is, it's all about your preferences and what you'd like to get out of it or add to it.
And it was an honor and something that I felt like I had a voice in that made me feel like I was empowered. And I think that's why these drug trials are really important.
There would never be a drug that would make it to a clinical trial if the benefits didn't outweigh the risks. And I think really driving that point home can really draw in a lot more participants and really help us to not only alleviate symptoms, but to cure celiac disease.